Humans are born and humans apparently die, but you don't, because you're not simply the human person. You are this infinite consciousness, and the very essence of who you are is boundless and indestructible. But this can't just be a belief. A belief will never satisfy you. It has to be plainly obvious, plainly self-evident. It has to be your actual experience. And the amazing thing is, if you look closely at your actual experience, you see that this experience of your true nature, your true self that's beyond birth and death that you're looking for, is actually the default experience right now and is always the case. If you want to see this, just notice that the appearance of your body and your mind made out of thinking and images, this whole concept of being a person, this collection of sensory data, this thing that can apparently die, is a secondary phenomena. It's form. What's primary to form is awareness, self-aware consciousness. You, the one who's looking at the form, the one who's dreaming the experience of being this person in this world, the consciousness that's creating this whole thing. That's what's real, because that's what never changes. That's the peace and happiness that you're looking for in external appearances, or some kind of intellectual resolution, or in some kind of state of consciousness that you need to achieve. This human avatar is an appearance of consciousness. The entire dream of the human experience is an appearance of the one consciousness. It's what consciousness is doing. It's what you are dreaming. But it can never limit consciousness. This body, this mind, this experience never harms or limits the real you, the consciousness that's giving rise to the experience. That's you. You're creating this, the awareness that's currently appearing as this experience, but is never limited by it. That's you. And you already have evidence for this. You already dream entire worlds at night, and you sit there casually and say, that was all in my mind. My mind created all of that. And so you don't think the mind can create all of this, the one mind, the universal mind? When I say your mind, that's what I mean. The one consciousness that's dreaming the experiences of 8 billion people and trillions of animals all at once. You see, we've been conditioned by society to think that we're only people. People who are born and people who die, instead of being infinite spiritual beings that we truly are. And it's founded on a philosophy, an ontology of the world that we rarely question, this just people idea. It's this idea that there's you, the body and the brain, the meat sack made of matter, and there's this separate thing out there called the world or the universe, which is like this huge space filled with this mysterious stuff called matter, which originally is floating around as this dead, dumb soup, but due to some other mysterious forces, this matter eventually coalesces into huge spheres, and on at least one or maybe a few of these huge spheres, this kind of slime emerges, and eventually this slime reconfigures itself with ever-increasing complexity until it got arms and legs and a heart and a nervous system and a brain, and at some point the thing became conscious. A light switch is on, and suddenly this previously unconscious and dumb thing becomes self-aware and aware of its surroundings. Hooray! Finally, it's alive. There's real intelligence there in this essentially otherwise dead expanse of time and space and matter bouncing around like ping pong balls or fields of probability or whatever other concept. Apparently, as the story goes, this bubble of little consciousness didn't create the world created it. And it's completely subject to the world. It might try as it may to control the body and control the outside world and circumstances, but eventually age and decay will set in to the body, and eventually the light of consciousness will be extinguished, never to return again. But notice that this is all a story. Seeing the world as matter so that we can observe it and measure it with our scientific instruments and do science is quite obviously useful and beneficial and kind of got us civilization, but it's just one way of looking at the appearance. It's a way of showing what patterns this appearance, this consciousness, appears to be currently doing. It doesn't say anything about what it actually is, and it doesn't actually prove the idea that there's a separate world out there made of matter that is fundamentally, ontologically different to you. That's a story. Anyone that tells you that science says this is not doing science. If you were having a lucid dream and a dream entity came up to you and said, "You're just this person. All you are is this body and this mind. This entire world is outside of you, and once this body and mind dies, so will you." You'd say, "Joke's on you, my friend, because I'm lucid. I know that this is actually all my own mind, my own creation. This entire thing is my consciousness appearing to itself as a dream." And yet, you've been conditioned by society that somehow this experience is much different. When someone is getting very old and near the end of their life, and their memories and desires are starting to dissolve and fade away, and their body is starting to fall apart, we say, "Oh, it's so sad. It's like they're disappearing piece by piece." But the truth is, everything that's not the true them is falling away piece by piece. Everything that's not essential to who they truly are is falling away piece by piece to reveal more and more of who they truly and essentially are, which is the entire universe, infinite consciousness, the entire dream. The appearance of the limited, separate person is dissolving back into the oneness, which is who you are too. And maybe you will meet again one day, even if it's painful to lose a loved one. Maybe the subjectivity you define as them will appear to you again in another life, the astral plane, heaven, another dream. But it was all you anyway. You and them are one anyway. It's us doing this. We're all dreaming this all at once. Before our apparently limited human appearances, we are this pure field of aware experiencing that can appear as anything, including this dream of the human experience. So let's look after each other, let's spread love, and let's make it a good one. Once again, check out the description to find freebies in the links and a link to speaktoalex.com where you can apply for a free call with me or one of my team to see if you'd be a good fit for the Awake and Aware program. More details in the description. See you in the next video. Peace. Peace.